Happy Monday, Daily Dosers. Thanks for being with us one more time. We are smack dab in the middle of our series, 40 Days to Freedom, leading up to Easter, really knowing how are we people that walk in freedom. Yes, I've been told by very good sources, and I know that there is a band called Sublime that had an album called 40 Ounces to Freedom. I guess there's many different ways to freedom. We're talking about this one, but thanks for notifying us of that. I don't know what to do with this passage. Our illustrious, fearless leader, Trent Jenkins, said, Chris, you're talking on Luke chapter 8, the woman who's been bleeding for 12 years and her healing. It is one of my absolutely favorite, most amazing stories in the Bible. It usually takes me about 55 minutes to get through the short version of it, and I got to do it in 5 today. So with 45 seconds, now it's 8 seconds already on the clock. Let me give you the story. This woman's been bleeding for 12 years, a constant flow of blood, a menstrual cycle that wouldn't stop. She spent all that she had at the care of a great many doctors, yet instead of getting better, the bleeding, of course, grew even worse. And the horrors of what she has been through and experienced is enough. The fact that she is under a Judeo system, that anything bleeding is unclean, she's without touch, without hug, without being able to sit in a public place, she is an outcast. Her entire life has been taken away for 12 years. But she's heard the stories of Jesus, so she comes up in the crowd when he's in her town, and she touched his cloak, and she's healed. And Jesus spins around and said, who touched me? No one cops to it. In fact, everyone denies it. And Peter goes, look, there's been a lot of people that have been touching you. We don't know what you're talking about. And then you have the end of the story. In verse 46, Jesus said, someone touched me. I know that power went out from me. And the woman, seeing that she could not go unnoticed, came trembling, fell at his feet, and in the presence of all the people, she had to tell why she touched him and how she had been instantly healed. Then he said to her, daughter, your faith has healed you. Go in peace. This is so perfect to what we've been talking about for the first 4 chapters in our weekend series in John. In fact, this weekend, I just talked about 3 stages of faith. There's an intellectual faith, a faith that believes that who Jesus was and what he did, a head knowledge. Then there's a temporal faith, a faith I can believe he can fix my current things. And then there's a saving faith that says, I believe in who you are. At the woman at the well, when Jesus talked with her, he goes, look, you can't worship me spiritually without truth. I want to free you physically, mentally, socially, relationally, not just spiritually. And now we have it all combined in this perfect story. A woman who has seen enough about Jesus, knows enough, and really has faith that all I have to do is touch him. I don't have to just say, here's my problem. I have to beg him. I know the person of Jesus. I can just touch him and be healed. And he calls her out in a crowd, and she has to tell her whole story. The very thing that she was praying to God no one would find out about, she has to tell. Because Jesus wants the town people to know, hear this story. I know this story, and I want all of you to know she's my daughter. She is off limits. You mess with her, you mess with me. I don't know, on our march to Easter, our 40 days of freedom, if there is a better picture of freedom in the Bible than this. What haunts you? What has taken away your life, what has destroyed you, the thing that you have no control over, and the thing that is unfixable is what you come in complete surrender and dependence, and you just hold on to Christ. And freedom is not letting you go knowing your problem is fixed. She was freed. The bleeding stopped. But socially, mentally, spiritually, relationally, everyone knew for 12 years, you're the untouchable woman. And Jesus wanted to set her free. And even though it's going to be humiliating for a few minutes, she has to openly declare who she is, what's happened to her, what's been done to her in the past 12 years. It's there. Everyone can hear it. And he says, this is my daughter. This one's mine. Go and be freed, shalom, from your suffering. Not just physically, socially, mentally, spiritually, relationally. She is restored. And by the way, that's my girl. You got a problem with her, you better come see me, because we're going to have issues. Oh, freedom is not a mental faith of who God is. It's not going to confront with problems. It's we can bring all that we are and just grab onto him and say it's yours. When we can sit at the well, he goes, I know who you are and what you've gone through and what's been done. And you are son, you are daughter, you are untouchable. And if anyone has a problem with that, they're going to have to deal with God. You now walk in shalom, the freedom of a new identity, a new person. Is there a better picture in the Bible of freedom than that? And the answer is no. Your turn. You spend time, reach out. You touch him. You find freedom, spiritual and in truth.